let's start. Well, DeJounte Murray's not there.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, let's keep it going with my next name, which is...
Hey, like I said, we got DeRozan, we got Aldridge, we got Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
We got the dude Forbes.
Bryn Forbes. Yeah.
And D. White. You know how many D. Whites I know? You know how many people I've been, oh, you talking about D. White? Derek White.
See, I knew that. I just had to get the ball rolling.
You know how many D. Whites I know that are actually named Derek White? It's a very common situation.
Our first name, though, is a name we all know. Lamar Jackson. Today, John Harbaugh announced, Bo, that Joe Flacco is fully healthy, but will be the backup quarterback this week. So let's watch Lamar Jackson officially take the reins of his franchise.
It's common for a starting quarterback to call his team, it's my team. Are you able to say that, ready to say that? This is your team?
It's our team. All of us together. It's our team. I don't go out there and block. I don't go out there and catch the ball. I don't make tackles. I just do my part. It's all our team.
Well played.
Should Lamar feel like this is his team now,
He should feel like he is the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. And next year, I am pretty certain that this will be his team. You don't draft a quarterback in the first round if you don't plan to start him in the second year. But I am not sure that we have reached a point in this where the Ravens will not have to turn back to Joe Flacco at some point. They've redone this offense to fit around Lamar, but I don't know how sustainable what they're doing is going through this. There's going to be a point where they're going to need somebody that can drop back and throw the ball down the field. Say what you want about Joe Flacco. At least at some point in his life, he has been able to do that.
Yes, and Lamar Jackson right now, I think, at the very least, is a great choice against the opponents that he's been playing. What's crazy, looking at the 4 teams he started against, the Bengals, Raiders, Falcons, and Chiefs, those are 4 of the bottom 6 rush defenses, according to DVOA and Football Outsiders. That's a great move if you're going to go and reorient your offense to play those teams. This coming weekend, Bo, they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another team in the bottom 6. They'll get the Chargers after that. Then they're back to the Browns, a bottom 7 rush defense. So I think John Harbaugh may just be playing the opponent for now, but it feels like it's a rent not buy situation this year.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just saying I can see a scenario under which going to Joe Flacco is the right move. Now, the question I wonder about with Baltimore is whether they're running this idea that we have a really good defense, probably one of the 3 or 4 best defenses in the league. If we can just not turn the ball over, then we've got a chance to push through this. Do you feel confident that rookie quarterback who has a little bit of a fumbling issue is going to be the dude who doesn't turn the ball over? That being said, do you have any confidence that Joe Flacco is going to be the guy who doesn't turn the ball over? I'll just be curious to see how cool John Harbaugh is looking at the dude that he won a Super Bowl with and being like, nah, I'm going to go with this dude I don't know that much about.
Yeah, the great point on Lamar Jackson's resume might actually be this game they lost against the Chiefs when they went up against that offense, and they did accomplish some of that ball control plus defense formula, which we thought had sort of been eradicated from the league. But if you're going to get him, Lamar Jackson, and then Gus Edwards, their running back, actually activated and empowered by this rushing attack, which is opening up the field, I do think it's a good temporary solution.
But out there running the triple option, man, that's only going to go for so long.
Yeah, you can't go Air Force for, that many weeks.
All right, next name is the Clippers. Brian Windhurst reports the other LA team, they must hate that, is, quote, obsessed with chasing Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard in free agency this summer. Pablo, you think the Clippers could pull either of those 2?
I think they could get one of them. The second one, Kevin Durant, I think is harder. I still feel like everybody I've talked to indicates that the Knicks are still his destination, but Kawhi doesn't want to go play with LeBron. It sounds like he wants to potentially go play for this man behind us. And Bo, what they are doing in Clip City is interesting.
What?
Clip City, I believe. That's part of the branding. Is that not it?
It's not Lob City no more?
I don't know. It's definitely not Lob City, but what they're doing is having all of these people in that front office show up to their games. Apparently, Kawhi Leonard, 3 out of every 4 games he's played this year, has had one of the Clippers front office members, of which there are many, showing up. Lawrence Frank is their president of basketball operations because Steve Ballmer deposed Doc Rivers from that job, and now he is molding an offense that is built to go star hunting. They're putting their money behind that goal.
Now, it is worth noting that the reason Lawrence Frank works there is because he's Doc Rivers' guy. We can't forget that. Now, I'm going to just say this. This is just where I stand from personally. If I go to 3 different games across the country and I see Lawrence Frank show up 3 times, I'm calling security. Hey, man, somebody go get a look at this dude that keep following me around here to where we're going. Like, this is a very collegiate approach that they are going with. I have no idea how much this stuff actually matters. It feels more and more like these dudes have made these decisions before July 1st even comes around.
Possibly.
You're not swaying them. They've made the call on where they they want to go. Now, I agree with you. I think that Kawhi Leonard is a better chance for the Clippers to get somebody to show up. He would like to be in California, so we hear, doesn't necessarily want to play with LeBron. The only thing about playing for the Clippers is, unless something drastically has changed, you're never really at home. Like, you'll play home games and you'll have fans, but the Clippers are such a secondary thought to people in Los Angeles. That one time, Chris Paul threw the first pitch out at Dodger Stadium and he got booed. He plays for what is ostensibly the home team, and he got booed because that is a Lakers town. Do you want to go play for a team where you are really running second into the basketball in town? I'd be curious to see who all wants that.
Yeah, Steve Ballmer is pitching these guys on the opportunity to create a legacy with a blank slate, to create a legacy with a guy of great enthusiasm who's a basketball nerd, was a stat keeper at Harvard, knows Washington State because that's where Microsoft was. And by the way, he does stuff like this. If we can play that video of Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, like, apparently they be, like, MS-DOS get a little more crunk than I realized.
That's right. Windows 95 has some swag.
CD backslash all over y'all.
DIR, and you find that this guy is at the top of the list. And that, Bo, if you are a player who wants an owner to legitimately care and be invested and spend his money on you, this seems like a guy who could convince you that he is the billionaire for your interests.
No, that seems like a guy that could convince you that he is a billionaire of their interest.
What he was?
Yeah, because that's the great sell. When I go in for a job interview, you know what I really want? I want a boss that sweats all the time. Like,
Sweat equity.
Yes, he will be able to convey enthusiasm with a questionable grip on sanity. I'm not sure that this is the guy you want to close it. Like, I feel like Jerry West going to tap him on the shoulder. Hey, Steve. Let me handle it. Yeah, I know how to talk to these guys. Let me handle this.
But to his credit, he is paying Jerry West. He is paying the logo.
Yes.
And if anything,
yes,
he is way less insane than the owner before.
Can't argue with that.
Last name. Jimmy Butler, your boy, because on the newest episode of the JJ Redick podcast on The Ringer, Butler opened up about what really happened the day he decided to play with Minnesota's third stringers and, punk Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. Let's listen.
Most interesting detail of that whole scrimmage that nobody knows.
Gone through a list.
I only shot the ball once.
Really?
I only shot the ball one time. Only shot the ball once.
But every quote coming out of there is like Jimmy was getting buckets and he was dominating.
I was dominating, but I only shot the ball once. Dimes, boom, boom, boom. Steals, blocks. Only shot the ball one time.
Bo, does this make you respect Jimmy Butler's day even more?
I don't even know if it makes me respect it even more, or does it make me respect the first teamers even less that they allowed this to happen. But this dude just went out there. Not only was he out here wreaking havoc, he was out here making dreams come true. He's trying to help some of these other cats make the squad. Like, come on,
That's
baby,
right.
I got you set up here. Shoot the J. Shoot it.
Shoot it.
He had it all set like that. Wow. Where's the video? Somebody has the video. I want to see the video.
I love that Jimmy Butler was waiting around listening to all of us talk about him and how he got out of Minnesota. And then he finally was like, people need to know how this really went down, because he was a glue guy in that context. And the thing that is, I assume, maddening for people who wanted to keep Jimmy Butler in Minnesota and then saw him do that is if he is doing this and he shot once, imagine when he feels like shooting.
Yes.
Because he's making life hard by being a hustle guy. That's crazy.
I want to hear from the other guys, the other third teamers. I want to talk about that, because one thing that seems to be very important in this that isn't discussed as a corollary point to what Jimmy Butler just said. If he only shot one time and his squad was dominating, that means there was a bunch of dudes out there having the best game of their lives. Like in what Jimmy was trying to do, in the plan that he was working with, the part that he didn't bet on was some dude whose name I don't even know shooting the lights out. Like, Jimmy, I'm good over here in the corner, baby. Just give me the rock. Bah, money.
But by the way, the guy who is doing a lot better since this trade is also Karl Anthony Towns. He is 23, 13, and 3, 50% from the field, 40% from three. The Timberwolves are 9 and 5. It seems like it worked out for him too.
And when they play against the Sixers, I don't know if they play against them again this year, and Jimmy Butler goes and guards him in the post, he's going to shrivel up like a raisin.
Mic him up. That's all I want.
The whole thing is going to set up that way. Coming up next, Tracy McGrady's got beef with J.R. Smith. No, seriously, in 2018.
Hey, drivers. High Noon is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
to try that with the third team on the Sixers. I don't feel like Embiid and Simmons would take nearly as kindly to that as the other boys.
Embiid just had to clarify that actually he's cool with Jimmy being there. It's about him trying to adjust to playing stretch five.
Self-actualization.
That's right. Our first quote, Josh Allen has given that city hope. He oozes so much potential and so much ability. Said former Browns quarterback Brady Quinn on the Pick Six podcast, hyping up Buffalo's starting quarterback. Should Josh Allen give Bills fans hope?
No. Now, the thing about it, to be fair to them, is you got to get hope wherever hope comes from. And if they decided that this is the hope that they need and that he's the guy that can provide them the hope, I guess I feel like I shouldn't be the person to deprive them of that. However, it is worth noting, man, Florida James put some numbers on the card.
Yeah.
Josh Allen has thrown the highest percentage of his passes more than 20 yards in the air. He is completing the lowest percentage of those passes in the NFL. That is right.
That's
he is doing the most
hope.
of what he's not going to. Look at that. This is the thing about it. Little did we know, me and my man Dominic Foxworth said before the year, they need to use him like they would if he was Jaheim Allen, and maybe you could get more out of him. And what do you know? He's got more rushing yards after 8 starts than Michael Vick. But if you think passing matters, and Buffalo fans believe passing matters, because that's what they told us about Tyrod, this is the dude you got throwing the ball. He's not good at it.
No, he has.
What is that?
He has all the ambition in the world, but we're watching hope. We're watching a guy try and lead the NFL in intended air yards. He's just not completing those passes, and it's really interesting talking about the Jaheim dynamic of all of this. Lamar Jackson, right? Lamar Jackson has had 418 designed running yards, right? Scrambles, only 51. Josh Allen, who is an incredible runner, as we've established, a guy who's super talented, super athletic, only 89 rushing yards on design plays, 401 on scrambles, which makes me think, do they know what they have?
No. It's not just about do they know what they have. It's also, do the defenses know what they have? They wouldn't let Jaheim Allen run around like that. Jaheim Allen could weigh 295 pounds, and they'd be like, hey, watch out. He's kind of shifty. This dude, they're still looking at the film like there's something about him, man. I just can't figure out why it is that he's able to do this. Here's one thing for you about Josh Allen. Do you know how many touchdown passes he has this year? It's on this card. I want you to guess.
8?
5! You had it on your hand. He has 5 touchdowns. He's completed 52% of his passes. He is honestly the worst case scenario of what we thought Cam Newton might be when there had been nobody according to that paradigm.
Yes.
No, man. And Brady Quinn talking about the hope.
He shows us his ceiling. He just keeps staying on the floor.
Man, he's really talented, though.
Very talented, deceptively.
Whoa. It's blatant at this point. Think everybody can see it? That's a play that wasn't flagged on the field. I hit him in the chest. So Eric Reed about being fined $26,739 for this hit on Bucs receiver Adam Humphries. All right, now let's see this. Again, it was not flagged on the field.
Right, and so at some point, a booth
Let's see.
examine this.
Yeah, well, they do this after every week. They go back and check all the hits and they see what it is. But does this look like shenanigans to you?
No, and Bo, I say a lot that safety must privilege the offense as opposed to the defense, and on some level, defenders must eat that reality. But if you're Eric Reed, man, that was hands to chest. Like on a video review, you should have clarity about that. And if you're Eric Reed, we also talk about conspiracies a lot on this show. Like
you.
Well, I do. This feels like a plausible concern to have, combined with the drug testing, combined with the fact that other plays he's made have been controversial but tipped against him. I get why he would feel like something amiss is afoot.
The most shenanigans play that has involved him was the interception that he clearly made in Philadelphia that would have ended the game that was overturned on replay, right? Then we hear the stuff about the drug test. The play we showed earlier with Zach Ertz, we hit Zach Ertz with the back body drop.
Yep, suplex.
I believe that he got an unnecessary roughness on the field for that. That was actually overturned when it got to the league office because Zach Ertz ran up on him. If it ain't one thing with him so far, it appears to be another. And what I can't seem to figure out about this, if you're the NFL and you're doing this, and I have to say if in spite of everything that I see,
you must.
If they're doing this, we're not paying any attention to him. If you wanted us to not pay attention to him, stop doing stuff like this.
That's it. The distraction is the stuff that you are bringing to his table. But our last quote. Who are we going to put up there with Earl Smith Jr.? We're going to put like Jackie Moon or Eric Snow? Said our colleague Tracy McGrady about J.R. Smith, who had tweeted that KD would beat T-Mac, quote, hands down, end quote, in a game of one-on-one Let's listen.
I think the problem that, lies is when the kid that plays for Cleveland
So serious.
tweeted out, "It's KD not even close."
That would be J.R. Smith.
You're being disrespectful on
J.R.
this,
Smith's
right?
like 30
You know what I
years
mean?
old.
You're being very disrespectful.
Also not
I don't know
technically
what the
playing
kid. No, let me use a Florida term. I don't know what this jit's problem is.
I don't know what that means.
So bad. Okay, a Florida term. When you see the KD and T-Mac comparison, you be like, man, that's a good one. But if you put JR and if you put like Jackie Moon or you put JR and somebody like Eric Snow, you be like,
Yo, Eric Snow.
what did Eric Snow do to deserve? And that is a laughing stock of his career.
Man, we still like you, JR, but
Wow. Bo, does JR owe T-Mac an apology or something or what?
I mean, I don't think he owes him an apology. I do feel that Tracy McGrady, though, is at this interesting point where if you were there, he was so cold. But if you weren't there, people aren't going to mention it that much because it doesn't come along with like postseason success.
Yeah.
And he's not cool with that. You will know him.
This is where I need to tell the millennials to get off of my lawn because look at T-Mac, man. Watch his highlights. KD is a better all-around basketball player, but Tracy McGrady one-on-one, the 40-inch vertical, the 7'2 wingspan, the fact that he is very nice to me when I've done the jump with him, all of these factors lead me to believe that Tracy McGrady is not getting nearly the respect he deserves. He's such a good coworker.
For the majority of this was a Hall of Fame discussion about Tracy McGrady. And then you had to break in the back door and just show
Remember
up.
when we saw him in New Orleans?
Hey,
It was
yeah,
the
why
Chappelle
are you
show
going to
in the
jump?
Bayou. It was
Coming up
great.
next, Hunter Pence speaking Spanish in the Dominican. Okay? Spending the break trying to figure out the point of origin, the etymology of jit, and then I realized we were trying to understand Florida. And that never worked.
I just wanted to know, is it jit a John? Like, where is it in the catalog of words that I actually have no idea what any of them mean?
Yeah, John's a whole geographical different situation.
We'll deal with it later.
Today's number's 3. That's how many games Hunter Pence has played in La Liga de Béisbol Dominicano for the team Toros del Este. He's already given post-game speeches. Let's listen to Senor Pence. Por favor.
Un juego muy importante. Y nosotros, I don't know how to say played very good.
Right.
But hey, Christian Adames, sick play. Saved a big run right there. Teoscar Pito Bryan switched the momentum. How do you say momentum in Spanish?
They speak more English than you speak Spanish.
Tomorrow. Thank you guys. Let's go.
Also, did he get us anything other than that was a big game?
No, but I feel like that was also kind of very charming and inspiring to that locker room. All we want is someone to try a little bit, although when he asked, what is momentum in Spanish, it reminds me that, like, when I learned in Spanish class that blue jeans in Spanish is Los Blue Jeans.
Yes. No, I mean, really, he just tried. Like I say, all he had was, this is a big game. That was all the Spanish he learned. But check this out. Check out my man, Nate McLeod. That time they asked him to speak Spanish. You ever seen this?
¿Cómo está la salud? No, estamos bien aquí. Me gusta mucho Baltimore y tenemos
Really?
un juego aquí en Nueva York muy
The
importante.
confidence.
Con suerte Nate este año.
Dropping those.
And that look on his face right there, like, yeah, you ain't know, huh?
Dude.
¿Ah, tú eres dominicano también?
Right?
Pero saludo a mi
He's
gente
selling it.
dominicana. Ahí está Nate McLeod ahora
No,
con
that
su
is a man who has heard people with an accent speak and is emulating that from actual lived experience around those guys. That's all we want.
What he is kind of the equivalent of like the NBA dude who starts talking like the black dudes, except he's talking like Espanol.
Más, por favor.
In close, Kawhi Leonard has Christmas cheer for us. And maybe he'll give it to us before Christmas. Check this out.
So, Merry Christmas. Can you talk about your favorite Christmas moment?
Not right now.
When, Kawhi?
I love that he is so authentically uncomfortable with this stuff. Because wait, re-rack this. I need to re-listen exactly how this went down.
Can you talk about your favorite Christmas moment?
Not right now.
Not right now. Like, is he in on the joke now? Like, I feel like you have to be after the ask me something, right? He's got to be in on the joke.
After the laugh echoing and becoming a meme, you'd figure that he knows the joke, but I don't think he does. I think he's just authentically him.
But when is it appropriate? He said not right now as though there is a time. When is the time to go ask Kawhi Leonard about that great Christmas memory? And now I'm afraid, what exactly will that Christmas memory be?
Right, like no Christmas memories before the third week of Advent.
But what if you hit him with, what is your favorite Christmas memory? No heat. Wonder why Christmas missed us. What happens then?
Well played. In
I
closing,
tell you those things will play.
in closing, let's cut to Green Bay, where it looks like Mike McCarthy isn't the only one being driven out of town against his will. WTNH is on the scene. Let's watch the news.
Watch as this testy turkey chases a
call Mike
boy
McCarthy
down
a
a
turkey?
street in Wisconsin.
I called him the child
He barely
fleeing
manages to
in
stay a
fear
few steps
of
ahead. Eventually, a driver
raptor.
gets involved, putting
not
an
a
end
raptor.
to the
Oh,
situation.
it's a turkey.
But I'm
Birds
wondering,
are
what did the boy do to
dinosaurs.
warrant the turkey chase?
It's just a turkey, though.
It's always just a turkey until it's chasing you home as you're carrying a very heavy backpack and whatever's in his hand.
You know, I'm not going to lie. This is what happens when we got this whole generation of kids that you're not raising to fight.
Wait.
Right? Like, little man running away, you need to turn around, put his bag down, and square up.
Are you suggesting that Mac Jones taught you how to fight a bird when you were growing up?
I'm saying my daddy's from a little town called Odell, Louisiana. I can only imagine some of the specimens that he had to duke it out with to get home from school sometime. I'm just saying, man, little man out here running, did it ever dawn on him? You know what?